There's a silent pandemic unfolding all around us. It's a crisis that could literally rewind a century of medical progress. The enemy? We call them superbugs. But as this threat gets bigger, a new playbook for how to fight back is emerging. So today, let's dive into India's strategic plan to take on this global menace. I want to start with just one number: 4.71 million. Now, that's not a budget, it's not a population stat, it's a body count. Yeah, that's the annual death toll linked directly to what we call antimicrobial resistance, or AMR. And just to put that into perspective for you, these superbugs are now one of the biggest threats to global health. They're turning what should be routine surgeries into life or death situations, and they're undermining treatments for everything from cancer to organ transplants. So this brings up a huge question, right? How in the world do you fight an enemy that's invisible, that's constantly changing, and is basically everywhere? The answer, it turns out, isn't just about finding some new wonder drug. It's about a fundamental shift in how we use the powerful medicines we already have. To really get the strategy, we first have to understand the enemy, and that brings us to the core of the problem: antimicrobial resistance. The easiest way to think about AMR is like evolution on super fast forward. The more we use and especially misuse our antibiotics, the faster these microbes learn to outsmart them. The source document puts it plainly: this crisis is primarily driven by misuse and overuse. So every unnecessary prescription is basically a training session for the enemy, teaching it how to survive our best weapons. Okay, so if misuse is the problem, then a smarter, much more disciplined approach has to be the solution. And that's exactly what this document is. It's India's national strategy for dealing with a massive national threat. So its official title is the National Treatment Guidelines for Antimicrobial Use in Infectious Disease Syndromes. I know, that's a mouthful. But this thing is so much more than just a manual. It's really a blueprint, and it's designed to completely reshape how an entire nation thinks about and uses one of modern medicine's most precious and finite resources. What's so important to get here is that this isn't just some casual recommendation. This is a unified strategy coming from India's top medical authorities. The main goal is to guide the empiric use of antibiotics. And what that means is, it's for that moment when a doctor has to make an educated guess and start treatment before the lab results are back. This playbook is all about making that guess as smart and as consistent as possible, all across the country. So, what does this playbook actually say? Well, it all pretty much boils down to a set of core principles that create a whole new standard of care, a new philosophy of what's called antibiotic stewardship. Let's just call them the 5 rules of prescribing. These guidelines basically create a 5-step mental check